The topic of climate change has become a highly debated and politicized issue, with some Christians feeling manipulated by scientists who are trying to convince them of the urgency of the problem. While it is true that scientists have a crucial role to play in understanding and addressing climate change, some critics argue that they are using persuasive tactics to sway Christians into accepting their views. This essay will explore the ways in which scientists may be trying to manipulate Christians about climate change and examine the ethical implications of such actions. One way that scientists may be manipulating Christians is by using emotional appeals to persuade them of the severity of climate change. For example, some scientists have used vivid imagery and catastrophic scenarios to describe the potential consequences of climate change, such as rising sea levels, droughts, and extreme weather events. While these images can be effective in grabbing people's attention, they can also be misleading and exaggerated, playing on people's emotions rather than presenting a balanced view of the facts. Some Christians may be particularly vulnerable to these appeals, as they are often motivated by a sense of compassion and concern for the well-being of others. Another way that scientists may be manipulating Christians is by using selective data and biased research to support their claims. For instance, some scientists have been accused of cherry-picking data that supports their theories, while ignoring or dampening data that contradicts them. This can create a false narrative about the urgency of climate change and may lead Christians to accept conclusions that are not entirely supported by the evidence. Furthermore, some scientists have been known to rely on unproven assumptions and speculative models to make predictions about future climate trends, which can be highly uncertain and unreliable. Some scientists have also been accused of using moralistic language to shame Christians into accepting their views on climate change. For example, some have labeled climate change skeptics as deniers or anti-science, implying that they are morally reprehensible or ignorant. This kind of language can be alienating and divisive, creating a false dichotomy between those who accept the scientific consensus on climate change and those who do not. It can also be seen as a form of bullying, where scientists use their authority and expertise to silence dissenting voices and stifle debate. In addition, some scientists have partnered with Christian leaders and organizations to promote their views on climate change, often using religious language and imagery to make their message more palatable to Christian audiences. While this can be a legitimate way to engage with Christians and encourage them to care about climate change, it can also be seen as a form of manipulation. By using Christian terminology and values to promote a particular agenda, scientists may be exploiting Christian trust and goodwill, rather than engaging in a genuine and respectful dialogue. It is worth noting, however, that not all scientists engage in these manipulative tactics, and many are genuinely committed to understanding and addressing climate change in a rigorous and unbiased way. Moreover, many Christians are already deeply concerned about climate change and are working to address it in their own communities and contexts. In fact, some of the most effective initiatives to address climate change have come from Christian organizations and individuals who have used their faith as a motivation to care for the environment and promote sustainability. In conclusion, while scientists have a critical role to play in understanding and addressing climate change, some may be using manipulative tactics to persuade Christians of the urgency of the problem. By using emotional appeals, selective data, moralistic language, and partnerships with Christian leaders, scientists may be creating a false narrative about climate change and exploiting Christian trust and goodwill. However, it is also important to recognize that many scientists are committed to rigorous and unbiased research, and that Christians can be powerful allies in addressing climate change. Ultimately, a more nuanced and respectful dialogue between scientists and Christians is needed, one that acknowledges the complexities and uncertainties of climate change, while also recognizing the moral and spiritual imperatives to care for the environment.